such a thrill to be here tonight with all of you. It's my great privilege and pleasure to welcome you to the American Center. Now, a couple of you were saying it reminded you of your school, and maybe whether you went to school in America or India or elsewhere. We're very proud of this place. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, but we're here tonight with an incredible group of people to support Girl Rising Engage campaign. And I learned what engage means. I haven't memorized it yet. Empowering new generations to advance girls' education. And we have the right group here to do it tonight. And this is the right place. If you'll permit me a little bit of pride, this American Center was built in 1946, established as a library, a symbol of friendship between India and the United States, and a symbol of the importance that we attach to education in India, particularly on the dawn of India's independence and a new chapter in this great nation's life. And indeed, we've seen in India, as in the United States and elsewhere, that education has been the key to unlocking the potential of citizens in both of our countries. India is the world's largest democracy. America is the world's oldest. So I really am pleased to welcome you tonight in our spirit of enduring democracy, friendship, and education, and also in a spirit of, for all we have accomplished, how much more we have to do, and nothing more than in the area of education, and in particular, girls' education. There are so many people here I want to recognize tonight. If I may say, we have partners here, the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industries, Ladies Organization, welcome, Intel, Hewlett-Packard, the Documentary Group, and the United States Agency for International Development. That group of partners is only going to grow, and if you're not a partner now, we invite all of you to join in the Girl Rising movement. If a girl stays in school, remains healthy, and gains real skills, she will marry later, have fewer and healthier children, and earn an income that she will invest back into her family, breaking the cycle of poverty. We see this every day in India. We see it throughout the world. A child born to a mother who can read is 50% more likely to survive past the age of 5. Girls with 8 years of education are 4 times less likely to be married as children. And it goes on. How did I learn all this? I watched the film. But I have to tell you, it's a lot more interesting to watch it on the film and to see it take life in the stories of these extraordinary girls and women and boys and men and their families when you see the kind of challenges they face and the importance they attach to education. Education at the heart of everything. This film, and I congratulate all involved in it, uses the power of storytelling to deliver this very simple truth, but a critical one. Educating girls is one of the smartest investments, I'd say the smartest investment we can make, not only to end extreme poverty, but to build the kind of society we want to have. And each girl in this film is absolutely unforgettable. I want to hear what happens next, and I hope we'll have a chance to ask later, because they're telling their own story, amplified by the skill of a writer from her native country. So this film already, in the years since its release in the United States, has done so much to generate awareness in the U.S. and globally about the importance of education for all. And now, with the India campaign being launched, I hope and believe it will have the power, along with the great support we have here from our Indian colleagues, to transform the lives of millions of girls across India. I know everyone in this room has probably a story that they can relate to what they see here. This is not about something far from us, wherever we live. I was telling some of you tonight, when I watched the film just yesterday, I actually thought about my grandmother, born in 1900, in the United States on a large farm, who ended her education at the age of 7 when her mother died and she had to take care of the family, the very large family that her father was left with. And she encouraged me throughout my life, go to school, go to school. The best years of my life were those 3 years I spent in school. And she was a Girl Rising. And I, as her only granddaughter, was proud to be a Girl Rising. And I know she'd be very happy to see all of us here tonight to talk about the next generation, the 21st century, filled with millions and millions of girls in India and throughout the world who have bright futures if they can just get that education. So, thank you all for being here tonight. This is a great night for celebration, but also for commitment. I'm so pleased to honor that we have Priyanka Chopra and Freda Pinto here tonight with your commitment, with the commitment in all in the room. There is much we can achieve. Thank you very much.
turn. Well, thank you, Ambassador Stevens. That were amazing words coming from an amazing woman. I am Priyanka Chopra, and I am Girl Rising.
And I'm Frida Pinto, and I am Girl Rising.
I think for both of us, if I may speak for a second, this journey for me has been tremendously personal. I grew up, my dad was from the army. I grew up in various places in India. I went to America and I studied there as well. But the one thing that I remember and I take most from my childhood is the fact that my parents taught me that I had a brain, that I had the ability to make choices, and I was born in a great democracy where freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of thought were my birthright. That was a right not too many of my friends knew about growing up. That was a right not too many of them were even aware of. The ambition in life that they were supposed to have was to get married, have kids, maybe have a job if they wanted to feel as a hobby, but never as a career. I feel privileged and extremely lucky to be born in a family where my parents told me that I had value. Whereas as soon as a girl is born in this nation, she's told she doesn't. A girl is paraya dhan. A girl is supposed to get married and sent off to another family. A girl should not be educated because that's an investment which is futile. We don't end up thinking that when you educate your girl, you educate a family. When you educate a girl, that family tends to educate a community. And by education, I keep talking about the fact that I think education is a basic right, and now recognized by the Indian government as well, where it is the basic right of every child to be educated in primary, at least till 10th standard. And I hope that somewhere parents who feel that educating a girl is a waste of time, money, it's futile, come to realize that today, whether you're a girl or a boy, you're still a child. And you have the basic right to live, and that's what we're talking about. I feel extremely empowered to be a voice for women who I think can change the world, especially in a country like India, where we are one of the youngest countries in the world. We have almost 60% of our population under the age of 35. That is the potential of this country. Where are we going? Where are we headed? And where will we go without this generation? This generation that is going to go into darkness because a girl is killed when she's born, because a girl is not needed, because a girl is not important. It's shocking when you think about the sex ratios that happen in urban India, not just rural India. Questions that are raised that give me goosebumps. These stories of these 9 girls that you see around the world make me feel like a part of a community of proud soldiers. And I'm really thankful to Holly and to the Girl Rising team for making me a part of that movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka, for inspiring not just girls that we will be seeing today on stage, but the whole country and girls all over the world. Everywhere you go, you make sure that you leave your sense of inspiration with them. So thank you so much for that.
Right back at ya.
Girls support girls, which is a very, very important thing as well, which we should talk about at some point. Okay, so I want to take you back to 2013, when I came aboard the Girl Rising Express, and I must admit that I did come aboard this wonderful journey without watching the film. And that is a thing that actors should never admit, that they didn't read the script or they didn't watch the film, never should admit.
Hey,
But
me too, by the way.
But their vision, the ideas that they had in mind, their dreams, and more than anything else, their ambitions. They were extremely ambitious, almost in a way that you go, oh, that is not going to be possible. And you know what? That's the challenge I like. So I said, hey, I'm going to come on board. I don't care what the challenges are, but this is something we are going to do together. And just the prospect of empowering girls all over the world, and starting with my homeland, with my country, India, absolutely enticed and excited this eternal optimist, this eternal enthusiast in me. And you know, some of these girls I have seen, but I know most of them I will not see. But that doesn't matter, right? Because if I do my part, and if we all do our part, then 600 million girls around the world will do the rest of it. So, but I must say, I finally did watch the film. I had to. And I loved it. But more than anything else, I was moved. And I was overwhelmed. And there was this fire burning in my belly. And I wanted to do something more. I didn't want to just be the spokesperson, the ambassador of this project and just talk about it. So I went up to Holly, who is the president of Girl Rising, and this was, again, at Sundance in 2013, when we first screened the film. And I said, in order to make this more of an impact in countries like India and other places where English may not be the only spoken language, what if we took this back home to India? What if we made a Girl Rising India? Now, knowing Holly, I should have known that she's 10 steps ahead of everything. So the first thing she said to me was, well, that is the plan. And here we are today. I am standing on the stage, on the threshold of unveiling this amazing film that all of you are going to see today as well. But before I get into the unveiling of the film, I have to say that the producer and me had to do some very important calculations. I had to think about the fact, why is it so important to educate girls? Is it cost effective? Well, it's a very expensive affair, right? So last night I sat down with a pen and paper calculator, took loads of research material out and made calculations. Wait, if you want to start educating girls, you've got to build schools, you've got to build toilets, midday meals, well, you've got to pay teachers their salaries, and then you've got to build a school in the first place, get supplies, and so much more. And then just in a city like Kolkata, to provide midday meals for all the children in primary school alone for a month would come up to 5.2 crores. That's a month. Okay, fine. So this is a very expensive affair, right? Why are we doing this? Why are we really doing this? And the answer was quite simple, and there was a pivot to the question. The question should not be, why are we doing this? The question should be, why are we not doing this? Especially when we know that in a country like India, we are at an economic loss of $33 billion per year by not getting these girls educated. So, well, the answer is quite simple. We need to educate them, right? Okay, fine. Okay. These numbers can bog people down. I particularly do not enjoy numbers myself, so let me segue into a slightly lighter mood and take you into a story. I love telling stories. It's one of my favorite things to do. So in 2012, I traveled to Ethiopia, and as part of my work with PLAN, I visit schools in order for me to understand, to assess, analyze, and also find out what is it that the schools are missing, what is it that the students need, parents, teachers, communities. And so I ended up reaching a little late. And
hey, you're Indian eventually. I mean, you have to be a little Indian. Sorry, I have to.
Thank you for having my back, but in Ethiopia, I wouldn't use that as an excuse. So I reached a little late, and I was super embarrassed that I walked in. I apologized, and there were these students, their teachers, their parents, all of them sitting down, waiting to tell me about how PLAN benefits their school. And so they all did their bit, and they speak in a language that I needed translation, Amharic. And finally, this beautiful, stoic-faced girl, Hewat, stood up and she said that she would like to say something in her V-neck, blue cardigan, I still so clearly remember. And she stood up and she said something in Amharic, and then she segued into English. And then I did not need translation. And there was a reason why she segued into English, because she said to me, I am very grateful and I truly appreciate you coming to my school. But please, ma'am, with all due respect, can you not come on a weekday, and can you please come on a Saturday or a Sunday, because I just missed my chemistry class and I love chemistry and I want to be an engineer one day. I was not shell-shocked or embarrassed, but I felt proud. I felt proud not because she reprimanded me or not because she professed her love for chemistry, but simply because she had the voice to stand up for what she wanted to say. And that is why, and that is where Girl Rising comes in. We need more girls like Hewat. who will have the voice to be courageous enough to say, this is when I want to marry, this is who I want to marry, so that they have the courage and the strength to know that they can report an abuse and that they will be taken seriously, so that they will have a voice that they can help nurture their children and actually change all of our lives as well. That is what we truly, truly need. Okay, and now it is time for me to introduce... Oh wait, I have to say, I'm raring to go. I am raring to go.
Hey, how many of you are?
I am raring to go, but I have to admit that alone, or just a team of Holly, Samantha, Megan, Priyanka, me, and all of us cannot do this by ourselves. It's all about partnerships. We need you. We need facilitators to support voices and to aid girls like Malala, like Hebot, like Suma, who I'm going to be introducing to you in a second. So please give it a thought, because this is something India really, really needs. We are in a crisis situation if we do not address this. Okay, so now I have to introduce my inspiration to you. This is one of the lovely, wonderful, super, super strong Girl Rising girls. Her name is Suma. And the most brilliant part about her story is that once she found her voice, she was absolutely unstoppable. Suma is Girl Rising.
Every time I watch this film, it moves me so much. It gets very difficult. We sit in our homes and we have small trivial things that we worry about. Small trivial things that bother us. These everyday issues that seem so insignificant when you hear stories like Suma's. That seem so small. I feel so small and insignificant worrying about those things when I hear these stories. These four amazing girls are from Educate Girls and Room to Read, with amazing stories to tell you, real life stories to tell you, that I think will move you to want to be a part of this movement. This is not just a film. This is not just a story to change your mindset. It's something that will change your life. And it happened to me. And I hope that everyone sitting in this room and everyone who's touched by this film, it happens to as well. तुम लोगों से तुम्हारी कहानी मैं पूछूंगी, सुशीला. सबसे पहले तुम मुझे बताओ. तुमने जब और नवली, जब तुम दोनों एजुकेट गर्ल्स से हो और तुम लोगों ने जब सुमा की कहानी देखी, सुनी, तो तुम्हें कैसा लगा? अपनी कहानियों के बारे में नवली पहले तुम बताओ.
जब मैंने सुमा की कहानी देखी तो पहले तो मुझे ऐसे लगा कि लड़कियों के साथ बहुत ही ऐसी स्थिति है कि जो लड़कियां हर काम से, जैसे गरीबी में गांवों में लड़कियों को घर का काम संभाल लेती है और बच्चे का देखभाल रखने के लिए, पानी भरने के लिए, खाना बनाने के लिए लड़कियों को स्कूल ही भेजते हैं. तो मुझे सुमा की कहानी को देखकर मुझे अच्छा लगा कि उसने वाकई में अपना खुद वो काम करके और धीरे धीरे करके उसने खुद उसको कुछ एजुकेशन देने वाला मिला. उसने उस कहानी से वो आगे बढ़ी. वो अब किसी की गुलाम नहीं बन सकती और ना बनने देती किसी.
नवली अभी वार्ड पंच है और अगले इलेक्शन में खड़ी है टू बिकम सरपंच. एंड